Peace and abundance, family. MJ the Mastermind back with another video. Listen, today we got a very, very important topic. Listen, if you're somebody that loves personal development, law of attraction, and all things in between, man, you're going to love my channel. You're going to love this video. Make sure to watch it to the very end, all right? So, if you feel lost right now, watch this, all right? This video is for you. And the reason why is most people don't lack motivation, they lack direction, okay? And when you don't have clarity of direction, any problems that you face are very overwhelming because you don't know what you're building towards, okay? So let's take a deeper dive into this, right? Now, if you're that person right now, because we all go through these periods, okay, where we may feel like we're lost and we don't know what we're working towards, or you kind of just get caught up in life, right? And you forget about your purpose maybe and all of these different things, right? Now, a lot of people think that the problem may be laziness or lack of motivation, but it's really a lack of vision, right? And we're always going to touch on this because vision is the foundation of all success. If you do not have a vision, you are going to be a tumbleweed in the universe. You are going to become a reactor of life and not a creator of life, okay? So you got to have clarity of vision, y'all, okay? Now, the first thing that's important when it comes to vision is you got to get clear on what you want, okay? Getting clear on what you want. And this takes time, not necessarily time. It takes quiet. It takes stillness. It takes the environment to really sit there and ask yourself these tough questions and ask yourself, well, what do I want? Why do I want it? What would having that make me feel? At the end of the day, everything we want ties back to a feeling or an emotion, okay? You want money because of the freedom that you're going to feel or the excitement that's associated with having money, as an example, right? You want this relationship because of the happiness or the joy that's associated with having that relationship. Or you want this car because the pride that you feel or the excitement that you feel driving it and hitting the gas on it. So at the end of the day, everything we want ties back to an emotion at the end of the day, but it's also good to break these things down tangibly. Like, what do you actually want? Like, in literal terms, it's really just sitting down and even creating a list of wants, right? Man, and it can be tangible things too. Like, it can be material things, right? Because it just helps build that clarity of vision, right? But not only material things, okay? Now, most people never sit down and actually decide on the life that they want because they just get caught up in life and the daily programming, and they never ask themselves what they actually want. Now, if you're somebody that has trouble figuring out what it is that you want, one of the things that you can do is ask yourself what you don't want. Okay? Like, ask yourself what you don't want. And when you ask yourself what you don't want, it tends to provide another level of clarity. Okay? But you can ask yourself, like, what kind of life would actually make me proud of myself? What would my ideal day look like? Who would I have to become to live that life? Okay? Now, once you have clarity of vision, the next step is getting clear on the version of yourself that's required for the fulfillment of that vision. Because you have to have a standard, right? Like, when you go into a job, when you go into a business, any successful business has SOPs. Any successful business has SOPs, standards, operations of procedures. Okay? Now, you got to have that in your life. You got to have that for your identity, for the version of yourself that is required. What is the SOP of your life? That's a bar. What's the SOP for your life? Right? What is the SOP? And when you get clear on that SOP, when you get clear on those standards, when you get clear on those principles, when you get clear on what's acceptable and what's not, man, that alone provides you another level of clarity. Because your life changes when your identity changes. That alone provides you another level of clarity, because now you actually know who you are and who you're striving to become. A lot of people are just caught in how they were programmed throughout life and have never even thought to themselves, do I actually even want to be this person? Like, a lot of people don't even like themselves. We all know somebody that, like, you can tell they just don't love themselves. So that identity, man, is super, super important. So building the identity of the version of yourself that's required for the fulfillment of the vision. Now, the next step is probably the most challenging. It's holding yourself to that standard daily. Holding yourself to that standard daily. Right? And being consciously congruent. And that means living in alignment with the thoughts of guidance that you're receiving, and making the decisions and the actions that are congruent with that identity every day. Okay? Super, super important for us to hold ourselves to that standard. And everybody's standard may look different, because everybody's vision looks different. Everybody's vision is different. You don't have to be specifically like that person, right? Because your vision is different. So if you feel lost right now, it's not because of the problems in your life. It's because you're not clear. You don't have clarity. You need to build your vision. You need to build the standard and the identity that's required for the vision. And then you need to live congruently with that every single day. That's just what's required. But what else are we here for, rather than to create the life that is inherent within us, that we feel most inspired by, most motivated by, most driven by? What other purpose do we have but to create that life into physical reality? And that process is life. That is living. That is what living is. And it has now dawned on me that if you're not living congruently, and if you're not living in alignment, you're not living. You're not living. That's just the frame. That's the most conducive frame of mind to life. And I think we can end it there. Much love to everyone for tuning in, for tapping in. Like, comment, subscribe, or don't. I still love you. My job is done. Peace and abundance, everybody. Until the next video.